Organizations or businesses operate to innovate, serve customers, and to grow, not to struggle with boxes of documents and archives and not to follow up on approvals. This goes beyond the traditional cost savings. Now, if you look from the time perspective, actually our promise is also to make information at your fingertips. Now, definitely globally the industry is moving out from paper-based records and it is already gone for the digitizing wave. It's not the future, that's the present today. So future is about intelligent information management, where information becomes a key competitive tool for any business.
Hi everyone. As society moves faster towards digitization and increasing regulatory burdens weigh heavily on businesses, having a professional record management company in your arsenal is critical for business success. DocSolutions Lanka Limited is a leading end-to-end record management service provider in Sri Lanka. They cover the entire life cycle of your records, from record capturing, digitizing, archiving, retrieving, and secure disposal after the end of the mandatory regulatory period for retention of these documents. I'm delighted to welcome in the studio today Prabodhanie Wanigasundara, the Chief Executive Officer of DocSolutions Lanka Limited, to discuss this interesting industry of professional document and record management. Welcome, Prabodhanie. How are you?
Good, Imran. Thank you and pleasure to be here.
Prabodhanie, look, I'm a director of multiple listed companies, highly regulated ones. And obviously for me, there is no question of having a professional record management company. But for a normal business, right? At which point do they realize I need professionals manage my documents? I can't do everything by myself. And are they, approaching a professional record management company too late?
Well, with our experience at DocSolutions, very rarely organizations wake up one day and realize that they need professional document management services. That's the reality. The common tipping points are when they get stuck with operational inefficiencies, or when they face regulatory challenges, when they want to submit an important document, maybe for a regulatory requirement or for an important audit, or when they realize their processes are lagging behind because of these inefficiencies. Some of the common tipping points are when the company is really thinking about going for digital transformation. And there are situations where large companies acquire the organization in terms of a merger or acquisition, so where they believe in the digital transformation. So that can be the starting point. And sometimes it can be simple as your office assistant is leaving the organization.
Wow.
Because that is a person who knows where these documents are. So when he is not there, you are clueless. Wow. We are to find this important information which is required for your day-to-day decision making. Now, this is where the professional record management companies or document management companies comes for help. So we have a systemized process which can help the organizations to manage the end-to-end document life cycle. So we, DocSolutions, we provide end-to-end document management services starting from data capturing, that is in the form of data extraction or data entry from the documents, then document digitizing. So we scan the document and create a digital copy of that. Right. And we provide a proper comprehensive document management software where you will give control access to your staff to see these documents. So it's not just, you don't give access to each and everybody. Exactly. Because these are sensitive information. Absolutely. So it has to be given to the people who should see these, who should have access for this sensitive information only. So we have a very comprehensive document management software, and that can be integrated with the organizational workflows. These documents can be passed down for the required approval processes in your workflows. Wow. And then the physical storage. Now, in certain industries like banking, insurance, finance, and even hospitals, medical records, even though the Digital Transaction Act is enacted in this country, our court system is not evolved and we are still depending on the physical copies.
And the customs, my God,
yes.
And Inland Revenue, yes. They're asking for documents from 10-15 years ago, even though the regulatory period is for a shorter period.
And there is this fixed mindset of people also. They love to keep the physical document next to them. So I think that gives them some sort of a confidence, comfort zone. How much we try to promote digitizing and digital transformation, this is where we are stuck as a country also. So for someone who needs physical storage, we have the physical archiving services. Right. We have 3 large warehouses in 3 strategic locations, Mount Lavinia, Jailer and Minuangoda.
Right.
So where we have well-designed state-of-the-art warehouses, specially designed for document archiving. And the entire storage or the archival is in a system.
Right.
So we have a proper warehouse management system. So at any given time, you can trace where your documents are.
Right.
Document level, box level, that can be traced. So that is there. And also at the end of the retention period, because most of these documents by the regulator, there is a retention period defined for certain, depending on the type of the document. And by industry to industry, it is different. Now you talk about medical records. Now there is a minimum retention period. So at the end of this retention period, it's very important that you destroy this document in a secure manner. And also to have a proof that you have done it in a secure manner and that you no longer hold this information. So we provide the service, we securely dispose them, destroy them, and also we provide a valid destruction certificate to the client. So even in case of any litigation purposes, you can submit that. So that's the gamut of services we provide from DocSolutions, and so you can see the value addition that the company can bring in.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and this country needs companies like you to provide these services. So one of the things that you are doing with this service, when I emphasize service, it's really not just something you do for money. I think it's very important. Look, you're taking off core burdens from a business, right? This is I know because I'm part of these businesses that it's a headache. It is a headache. It is not core value, and so by taking these things off their minds and for them not to worry about this, what sort of how do they benefit? What time is freed for them in terms of doing core activities?
See, again, it's another good question. Now, see, organizations or businesses operate to innovate, serve customers, and to grow. Not to struggle with boxes of documents and archives and, not to follow up on approvals.
Yeah.
Now, when you free up the time of your staff, actually you are giving them time to think, to be creative, to innovate. Now, you always complain saying, my staff is not innovative, they are not creative, they are always stuck and they don't think out of the box. But you have put them into a box and you get them to search documents inside a box.
Absolutely.
And expecting them to, think out of the box, which is not going to happen. So you are responsible for your staff not having enough time to, think creatively and come up with new ideas, to put their time for new product development, to serve customers, to innovate. Now, when you outsource these non-core activities, so there are professional organizations like us who are experts. Now, our staff is experts in handling this. Now, if you try to do digitizing by getting scanners and do it inside yourself, that's not your core activity.
Absolutely.
That's not what you do your best. So even the management teams get more time to think strategically and to make important decisions. So that time, and also when this routine burden is taken off from your employees, employee satisfaction goes up. So if your employees are happy only, you can expect them to go and, make your customers happy. So that results in customer satisfaction.
Absolutely.
And also you get improved operational efficiencies because now an expert organization is handling. And also you don't have to invest on the required hardware and the infrastructure. We do it on behalf of you. And you get access to the latest technology.
Exactly.
I mentioned about our warehouse management system.
Now,
if you try to do it for your internal record rooms, that's a huge investment. But here you get it free of charge. We give access to our customers to our warehouse management system so that they can generate requests from the system. They know where the request is. They know who has requested. Audit trails are available. Complete visibility, traceability is there. Who has requested this? Who has accessed? So the manipulation is also gone because now you have proper control. Right? You have proper monitoring, you have proper control. And also we have invested on the latest equipment in terms of document digitizing, the latest hardware we have invested, and also on the latest technology like ICR and OCR based data extraction and AI driven other technologies we have invested because that's our core business.
Absolutely.
You should not invest it on someone else's core business, right?
Absolutely.
You should so those are the benefits a customer will get by outsourcing this document management. And it goes beyond document management. Today we live in data-driven world. So information is knowledge, and that's what most of the people don't understand.
Yes, and I agree with you completely. Just to dig deeper into this whole cost-benefit analysis part of it, right? Your clients obviously we see the value, right, in the companies I am on. But for a new client, they might be still thinking, do I really need to do this? Can't I hire just one guy and give him a room and tell them to, store all these documents? Do I need to make it such procure such a professional company to do these? For me, it's a no-brainer, but how do we make it, a no-brainer for a typical new client, for example?
So actually, this goes beyond the traditional cost savings. Now, if you look from the time perspective, now we can help you to reduce sometimes maybe hours or maybe days of time that you're spending in finding a single document to just few seconds. Because when you digitize the records, it's available at your fingertips. Actually, our promise is also to make information at your fingertips. Right, so that's the time saving. And when it comes to cost, the amount of cost that you are spending by, occupying your valuable office space, how costly is the office space in Colombo, the main city areas. And just like, keep blocking them for document storage, it's a huge cost. And not only that requires proper management. Now, if you have a storeroom, and if you don't properly maintain that, a lot of pests can get and your documents can be destroyed. And when you want to retrieve only, you will know the documents are destroyed. There is no proper regular maintenance. And also you should have staff to manage that. And if that staff is not there, no one else will know where the document or where the particular invoice or the record that you are finding. So you are creating dependabilities, which is going to be a bottleneck in your business operation.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in terms of the cost saving, that is again enormous. And when it comes to the efforts, again, so you get your staff to get stuck with, this back office routine chores that they have to, put their time. So that, make them, depressed also sometimes. And, when they have certain other KPIs to meet and when they have to spend, the research says 20% of the valuable time of employees are gone on any productive day. 20% is spent on finding information, sometimes stuck in paper records, sometimes even in digital form, when you don't know where exactly it is, when you don't have proper system. And this our value addition actually goes beyond there, and it is linked to the ESG goals also, environmental, social, and governance. Now, when you reduce the paper usage and when you reduce the number of documents that you are printing and recreating, now you are recreating the information which is somewhere else in the business.
Absolutely.
And how many photocopies we are taking on a day?
Absolutely.
And sharing among people, when the document can be digitally available and it can be viewed by multiple people simultaneously. You simply don't use the technology which is available. So when you reduce that directly contributes towards your ESG goals. So those are measurable goals. It can be linked to your carbon credit or the carbon footprint, and that can be connected to the overall ESG goals of the organization as well. So it is actually a compounding effect that we are creating, not just the cost saving. So time, effort, cost, sustainability, and that's our promise actually.
You mentioned something else before, which I want to touch more on, I think, and again, from my own experience. These documents contain very sensitive information. For example, I'm director of hospital. I can tell you that it has medical information of anybody, famous people, not so famous people. Then you have banking documents that are required for the regulator. Then there is, cases that go on for years. What sort of reassurances do typical clients ask for before they commit to you? And what assurances do you give them? And also, if you can give us some examples of how you have protected the client even in circumstances where they did not think there is a threat to their confidentiality of the documents that they give.
That's again a very important question, Imran, because these are information assets of our clients which they entrust us with. So these can be very sensitive information, like you said. It can be HR documents, it can be valuable contracts, it can be medical records, again very sensitive, and it can be anything. And these are like sometimes their customers' information, which is third-party information. Exactly. So how strict is the regulatory environment. So today we have PDPA, Personal Data Protection Act, GDPR, and PII, Personally Identifiable Information, has to be handled very sensitively and very securely. So when a customer entrusts this to us, so they basically expect four main things. First one is the security of those information assets. The second one is the confidentiality. Third one is the availability. So when they require, it has to be available. And the fourth one is compliance, right? So because we act as a data processor on behalf of the organizations. Right. So as a data processor, there are certain things that we have to comply. So we are ISO 27000 certified, that is for the information management system in ISMS, Information Security Management System, which is ISO 27001. Also, we are ISO 9001 certified company for the entire quality management system. So those certificates, actually the customer expects. So those are our credentials to show that we are qualified to take over your information access and to do the justification. And in terms of ensuring the security, we have the physical security measures like 24/7 man guard security, strengthened by the electronic security, which is CCTV surveillance and proper access control. When it comes to confidentiality, we have very comprehensive NDAs signed with the employees who are acting as the data processors in our data entry and data processing centers. And also, all those centers are covered with CCTV and proper access control. And also, we restrict the devices with cameras like the smartphones, we restrict because those are also can be used for data leakages, because today it's very sensitive. So we process it in very controlled environment. And to ensure availability, again, we have proper systems where the customer can request what is required for their audits or for regulatory purposes, and it will be shared with them through secure systems. And so that's how we ensure and meet the expectations of the customers when it comes to those four main areas.
Just interviewing you, I came to the realization that your company and the companies I'm on the board are going to work together very soon on the implementation of the PDPA. So, and I didn't realize what an important stakeholder the document management company is in the implementation of the PDPA that is coming into force by early next year, the first part, and I think completely by the next part. So, new revelation for me, and look forward to working with your company there. Prabodhanie, I interview many people across this table, and a lot of them come to me and say AI and machine learning, is going to impact their industry, whatever their industry, in a major way, right? And then also, I think in your industry, it's going to have a massive impact, right? It's going to make companies that are your clients do extraordinary things with the kind of data they have, and that also obviously, presents challenges, but also opportunities. And as their trusted partner in this process, I think where you stand on this journey is as important as where they stand on that journey. So where is DocSolutions on that journey to reap the benefits of AI and machine learning, and what can your current and future clients expect from you?
We have very clearly envisioned the future, because this industry is something which is evolving with the development of technology. Now, definitely globally, the industry is moving out from paper-based records, and it is already gone for the digitizing wave. Now, this industry is moving beyond simply digitizing. Now, it's about intelligent document management or intelligent document processing. We call it IDP. Right? So, basically, not to just have a digital image of the document, but you should be able to go through the content of the document and use that content intelligently for your day-to-day decision making. So that's where you linked it to your strategic priorities of an organization, and that act as a competitive tool for any organization. So we have invested, so we have a program called Innovation Incubator, which is we have created by using the in-house talent, and we have developed AI and machine learning capabilities, and where you can now extract the data from the document and you can ask questions from that content. Now, suppose if you can ask from your repository a question like, what are the agreements which is expiring within the next 3 months? So the system will give you the answers. You don't have to go through the documents to search that. This is the AI capabilities are such, you will get the answers. Or who are the suppliers, which has given the lowest quotations to us during this period. So the answers will be given. That's already in the plate now, and it's not the future, that's the present today. And in future, we are looking at introducing predictive analytics, like by looking at the information in the document, you can predict certain risk, certain future events. So that's where we have invested. So I think the possibilities with the technology, especially the integration with AI and integrated workflows, and with hosting this in cloud environment, these are the demands of today, because people are moving out from huge capital investments, and customers are looking for affordable technology. So they are increasingly looking for subscription-based or SaaS-based models. So we have SaaS-based, subscription-based, solutions for these requirements, where we enable our customers to use this information as a competitive tool. So we are not just a document management partner. So we are basically a business enablement partner for our clients. So that's where we want to see ourselves in the future. Things like retrieval augmentation generation, RAG. Right, so that is again where you can integrate, where you can intelligently connect with the documents, connect with the information in the documents, where you can ask certain things. I mean, if you have that, so see the amount of time that you are saving, and so the future is there. So future is about intelligent information management, where information becomes a key competitive tool for any business, and we want to drive that revolution in the country by taking the leadership, introducing the latest technology. I mean, our leadership on the traditional document management we will be maintaining, but we want to grow with the latest trends in the industry, and that's where I see this company, and that's where I want to take this company.
Noble vision, noble vision. Final question is from a national perspective, right? The successive governments of Sri Lanka have tried their best to digitize this country, the government services, the private sector, etc., etc. But I think a successful digitization strategy for a country involves incorporating private sector players who are already, doing components of it. And I see that you're doing a great job for the private sector, and procurement processes in the private sector are much more faster, easier. But I think you have a bigger role to play, I think, in government. So hopefully we have many government stakeholders watching this once in a while. So hope that they see this as opportunity. So where does DocSolutions come into the national endeavor of digitizing our, record management, the whole economy?
I mean, this is where, Imran, the public-private collaboration should happen. I mean, I think as a country, we are still lagging behind that. Because private sector is ready with the required investment, required know-how, required expertise, and the required technology. So we are ready. I mean, if we are invited to even at the policy making level, so we are ready to give our knowledge and expertise and ideas and suggestions and how to take this. Otherwise, we'll be talking about this digital transformation for the next 10 years also. Right? So where you have to start is the beginning point will be the private-public collaboration, where you need to invite the private sector into these forums and then get their suggestions and ideas and implement it combinedly, rather than you trying to, as a government, try to form separate agencies and separate bodies and try to do it alone and be skeptical about the security matters. And also private sector also, there are ways that you can make the security aspect very strong. Absolutely. So you need to discuss those things and agree upon. So we are looking forward for such opportunities. We have plans to talk to the key people in the policy decision positions also. So we are very much interested in getting there and to contribute. That's actually the bigger vision, actually. Absolutely. To contribute. Absolutely. To the national country's national agenda in terms of digital transformation and beyond that. So I want to take the country, to the intelligent information management level.
Absolutely. Excellent. Prabodhanie, thank you for sharing the DocSolutions story. It's a really inspiring one, because the country requires a lot more digitization than it is happening, and I think you all are an important part and stakeholder. So thank you for sharing the DocSolutions story, and I wish you all the very best in all the extraordinary things that this company is doing.
Thank you so much, Imran. Thank you very much.